Thank you for joining us. Now, some foods just might not be as healthy as we think. And we welcome to the program nutritionist and fitness expert, Kathleen Trotter, who's here with some unhealthy, healthy foods. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, this is what you see when your client's food journal, basically, and you can really see those mistakes. So what are some of the common mistakes
so
people
I started
are making?
calling them unhealthy, healthy foods because people would bring me their journal and be like, Kathleen, I've done so well. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm so glad you're trying. But it's so frustrating when you think you're making good choices and then you're still not reaching your goals, right? So there's so many things that they sneak in and they're actually really bad for you. So, for example, the one type of unhealthy, healthy foods are things that are just really filled with sugar, but their package is healthy. So anything with protein in the label, people are like, oh my God, it's super healthy. Guess how many grams of sugar is in this?
Let's have a look here, and we'll have our camera take a look at it. Well, I'm going to sneak a peek at the label. That surprises me.
Right? Almost 50, 48. Isn't that crazy?
That is a lot.
Or something like...
That's basically like drinking a pop, isn't it?
It's like your entire day of sugar. Or something like a low-fat yogurt. So people will be like, yeah, I had a low-fat yogurt and a bran bar. Okay, so this is a low-fat yogurt. This is over 20 grams. A bran bar, that's like 13.
How many grams do you think people should be having a day?
Well, as few as possible for sure, but that is like your daily sugar intake.
Right, and that's added sugar. It's not
exactly.
That's
exactly.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing is portion sizes. So somebody will be like, well, I had this, but it only has 12 grams of sugar. I'm like, yes, but there's 2 portions of Sunny D in this. So, you know, as much as possible, eat real foods, foods that you can pronounce all the ingredients. And if you want some protein, have a hard-boiled egg, right?
Right.
Simple. Sort of what I call the Captain Obvious approach to health. So, you know, drink more water, eat more vegetables, get away from the things that are like, oh yeah, it's quick and it's easy.
With lots of added things.
Exactly.
Lots of hidden things. Okay, and then on
next
to
category.
foods that we think are healthy, and I would look at, you know, almonds and hummus and these things, and those would be healthy choices.
Yeah, so they're definitely healthy foods. I love all these foods, and they're the second category of unhealthy, healthy, and they're the foods that people will come in their journal, and they'll just have written almond butter and an apple, and I'll be like, that's great, how much almond butter? And they'll be like, well, I don't know, I just sort of sat at my desk and spoon-fed myself almond butter.
Right.
And it's like half a container. So it's when you get out of portion that it's not very healthy for you, right? Like 1 tablespoon of almond butter is not the same as 10 tablespoons.
And 1 tablespoon isn't really that much.
I know, it seems like it's going to be a lot, but it's not. So here's some mixed nuts. So again, nuts healthy, healthy fat, right? Protein. How many calories do you think are in that?
Okay, this is a good question because I know what 200 looks like. I'm going to say 2,400.
Pretty good, just over 2,000, yeah. Isn't that crazy, though?
That is.
Yeah, or something like hummus. So things like hummus...
And if I'm being totally honest, I could probably sit down and eat that
I
whole
could
thing.
totally, right? And what we were talking about before the break is knowing what your triggers are. And if you know that nuts are something that you can just totally nosh on, don't have them in your house. Or have some solutions for when you're eating them, which we'll get to next. But something, again, like hummus, right? It's like, okay, it's super healthy, but 1 or 2 tablespoons. There's 8 servings in this. And so many of my clients will eat this in like 1 or 2 sittings, right? So it's all about portion control.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have
the whole container.
Exactly. And knowing your triggers. So for some people, hummus is not a trigger. It doesn't even matter. It can sit in their fridge. But for some people, we were talking before the break, I love, 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 love fudgicles. Now that's a totally unhealthy, not even a healthy food, it's just unhealthy. But I can't have them in my fridge, so I know that about myself, and I have them at my mom's house, and if I want one, I go over there.
Okay, really quickly, let's get to some strategies.
Oh yeah, some strategies.
We don't have very much
so
time
portion
left.
control out, journal your food, smaller glass, smaller plate, you know, especially if you're having wine, have a little bit and then have some water. Keep your hands busy. So if you nosh while you're mindlessly eating while you're watching TV, you know, knit, draw, drink water all the time so you're hydrated. And this is maybe my favorite, because so many of my clients, they eat while they cook food for their family, and then the problem is by the time they get to dinner, they've already had a whole meal, right? So I say to them, put a piece of gum in your mouth, brush your teeth, have some mouthwash, do something so you're not just mindlessly eating.
Right, yeah. And you're not doubling up on a meal.
Exactly. As we were talking about before the break, like just no standing eating, no grabbing food off of a coworker's desk, no mindless eating. You have to be purposeful. You sit down, enjoy your food, love it, right?
Right. Okay. All great tips. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, here it is, Finding Your Fit, and that is your book, and there you have some of the tips this morning in A Thin Slice. And Andrew Schultz, I promise you, I will not swipe a chicken wing off your desk.
Chicken wings